guest is someone whose career is quite hot on topic at the moment and that lies at the core of South African culture. Yes, I'm talking about rugby. Although starting his career representing the Lions at the early age of 18, he currently represents the South Sea Sharks in the URC as well as in the Currie Cup. He was in the match last weekend against the Dragons where the Sharks kicked ass 69-14. He is known to bring a wide range of skills to the Sharks lineup, whether it's making crucial tackles, winning back the ball, making tries, or just epic ball handling. You cannot put this guy in just one category. So before I give too much away, I give to you James VENTER. Thank you so much for joining me with your busy schedule. If you guys want to know the definition of busy, ask James.
Non-stop, eh?
Yes, but I want to actually start with the golden egg, all of the headlines at the moment, the World Cup. How was the energy at the trainings with your team, with your mates?
I think it's such a special moment for especially those guys be with them since the last World Cup, 4 years. A lot of them, a guy like Ox, worked really hard to solidify a spot there. You just see them gone and literally destroy everyone else at the World Cup and bring back the title. It's awesome. A guy like Lukanyo to win 2 World Cups. It's amazing. I think it's the first time South Africa's been that proud of a Springbok side for their performances, and I think when they become your mates, it's just you have a different type of passion and excitement for them.
Yeah, and I mean you would see a Khaleesi all the time.
Yeah, I've learned lots from CS. He is an awesome role model, awesome for guys like even myself, for learning how well he handles the pressures around rugby, coming back from his injury that he picked up last year, this year and made it back to the World Cup. The commitment that he puts into his rugby, it's special.
Yeah, because also people speak about the transition rugby has kind of done over the recent years, where Steve got with Mr. Rasmus.
Yeah.
What kind of big transformations have you seen?
I've just seen a massive passion and drive for success, or the way they play for South Africa. They don't put the accolades first or the achievements of the team first. It's always about making South Africa proud, making their friends and family proud. And I think that's what they've founded that whole campaign on, and they've driven it and led to success. It's awesome.
Yeah. But it's funny how you bring up pressure. That's actually what I wanted to speak to you today about. I'm like a semi-pro player, kind of starting a little bit more, bigger stages, with more camera and everything like that. And I wanted to ask how you handle that pressure, coming from the different levels, obviously a varsity cup going up.
I think pressure is a funny thing, and so my journey started at what Chestnut School, which was a small south school on the south coast, and then I moved to Glenwood, and that was an immediate change in pressure. The environment where you go from playing with your mates, rugby, everyone just enjoys it.
Glenwood's a rugby school.
Yeah, and then it's like now there's pressure to perform, going up to the Lions, and I think it was that was an awesome journey because you kind of out of your comfort zone. So then you realize that every game is, especially when you're playing for the Lions, it's a game of opportunity. So like every game that you get out there, you're kind of fighting as a junior to get into a senior contract or get into a senior squad, and to figure out if you actually going to make it.
Yeah.
But I think now what I've learned in rugby is don't play with a lot of pressure on myself. Like I fall in love with rugby because of the game, the tackling, the passing, the defensive aspects, just the game itself I really enjoy. And obviously there's so much pressure you could put on yourself. Like at the end of the day it's a job, so you're fighting for your contract, you're fighting for
you're representing all the other things.
You're representing a team like the Sharks, which is like a team I grew up supporting. There's so many different aspects you can add pressure onto yourself that you kind of forget what you're doing. At the end of the day, it's a sport, it's a passion, it's something you love doing. So
you just focus on kind of your passion and the other stuff you drown out.
Yeah.
But are you taught to drown it out?
I wouldn't say that's a space that gets. The Sharks have definitely started in our last pre-season. We started a lot working on the personal development side, the mental side of rugby. which has been a cool transition. I don't think I've never had a pre-season or a season where we work on the mental side of rugby, which has been interesting. But I think that's also figured out the more that everyone's been speaking about it and how they address it and everyone's perspective is how I've seen maybe how my perspective is why I enjoy rugby. It's like I don't add the extra pressure on myself. I kind of just go back to the reasons why I enjoy playing. Obviously I've got my family that have always supported me, backed me, friends, so I can just always rely on that. If I feel like I need some inspiration, get on the phone, chat to one of them in the week, and then that just gets you excited again to play. So.
You'll see it. Wow. But there's one particular moment, I'm not sure if you remember, 2020, Sharks versus Bills. Sean Everett, the coach at the time, was saying things in an interview that the Sharks were lacking the ability to put pressure on the opponents and everything. And then they were like, no, that's why we're bringing in James Venter, because he's going to fill that gap, he's going to change the game. Does that remember?
I remember that, yeah.
That's a lot of expectation. Like if people are expecting things from you and now you have to go on the field and actually perform, like that's tough, no?
Yeah, it adds I'd say more of an edge to my game. I know, okay, that's something that's what I need to bring. But at the end of the day, they wouldn't have, at that time, the Sharks shouldn't have brought me across to join them if I didn't fit the mold or I wasn't the player that they thought I was going to be. So when I joined the Sharks, it was just putting more emphasis on doing what I'm good at, doing what I enjoy. They didn't bring you into a team and into an environment where they want you to thrive at something you're not good at. So I think that actually does raise the expectations, but it also raises your confidence level and just do what you do and do what you're good at and fill the roles that you're there to fill. That was to your skill set.
So for you, it's more excitement then?
Yeah, so it was more of an exciting that someone actually sees your skill set, sees what you bring, and wanted that dynamic in their team. So I think that was I really enjoyed that challenge or that pressure, just to get out there and do what I enjoy doing and in the way that I enjoy doing it.
Sure. And that passion was from you, or how did it develop?
Sure. So I definitely decided, so my dad always played for a club rugby when I was growing up, and then he went into rugby and coaching. So being in the whole family, mom loves rugby, dad loves rugby, so being exposed from a young age, and then I think it's like anything that you start really young and you get
good at
it, good at it and better, then you just develop this, okay, I know what I'm good at, I know what I enjoy doing. And then also my friends growing up, there wasn't a day that we weren't playing rugby. So like you back garden playing rugby, at school playing rugby between breaks, like going into class sweaty, like Durban in the summer, getting into class, buttons broken. So like I'd say
someone smells.
that was always me. That was always me. School, I don't worry about the academic side of life. Just have to play rugby, and that was my literally growing up. And then just realised like, listen, this is something I could really enjoy doing. So just carried on following what I enjoyed doing, what I thought I was good at.
Yeah, but in terms of being good at something, you play flank, and that is a lot of variety. It's speed for the tries, it's power, defense, and then it's ball handling. So it's not just one category. So it's not like a prop where you can just work out in the gym and you're super strong and that's your role. Your role is everywhere.
And I think that's something I've also enjoyed playing flank. I know a lot of my friends growing up would know, like I really always wanted to play in the back line.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you just maybe not quick enough, or maybe just not skillful enough. But when you compare yourself to a forward, you maybe just that edge above them. So I enjoy it. I think that's what I enjoy about flank, is that you've got aspects in the game where you can use a bit of everything. I'm not the biggest flank or fly or forward around, but my speed then compensates for my size, where that's what I enjoy about the game rugby. There's so many different aspects of the game that you can thrive in what you're good at, so that's really, really cool. I just learned to lean on what my specific field that I'm good at.
But like training to be flank, is every person in positions trained differently?
Yeah.
In terms of physique?
So there's a lot of position specific roles. So like you'll get a 7 flank, who's your blindside flank in South Africa, and that's generally your taller guy. He'll be a bit heavier, a bit more abrasive, more contact. You don't have to prepare his body a bit differently to myself. I'll be more high intensity running, a lot more around the park, into a lot of breakdowns. So
that's a lot of banter. Like, yo, I got weights today, you're running.
Yeah, so a lot of, especially for a six lane, you know, a lot of head goes into like a lot of breakdowns, you making a lot of defense, a lot of tackles. So like your gym work has to kind of really be on par. So yeah.
But also another thing is in sport is a lot of disappointment, and obviously in sport specifically, you winning, you losing. You went from Portcheston, you then went to Greenwood, you went to Joburg Free University, Lions, then Sharks. It's kind of step-by-step process, which seems like perfect. But was there a moment where it was just like, oh, I want out and going the way I wanted to be?
I think every rugby player will have moments in his career that would have been difficult and like had challenges to face. But I think,
was it quite smooth, your process? Touch wood.
Well, I wouldn't say smooth. I think for me, I was really blessed and lucky with the path that I walked. I mean, going up to Joburg wasn't easy, and at that time, studying was massively just unknown if you're going to play professional or not. You used to 19, 20, 21. So I was lucky in the era that I was a junior coming up. The studying rugby balance was really good. I had really good coaches around me as well. A lot of them are now at the Sharks and all that. Coach Joey Mongolo is one of them. So he would develop me and working as a youngster, balancing that study and rugby balance, and then transitioning from that, luckily after all the junior rugby, we had junior categories of about 21. Moving to senior categories, still have that fundamental that I talked about, balance. So that really worked hard. But like you say, every year you go to varsity cup where you start playing against older guys, and it's like an open age group.
Yeah. So although smooth in terms of progression, it was tough in the way of adjusting to each new step.
Exactly. So every level of rugby is just that little bit more intense, and you might not get the crack the first week or the second week, but rugby is a long season. There's 10 to 15 games often in a season. So your opportunity to show yourself, show your worth is never ending. So like at any time in that process, you can get your opportunity. It might not come in the first week or second week, but throughout the whole season. So that's why it's so important to stay physically fit, you do your recovery, and make sure you maintain like definitely a balance with your rugby, because you become obsessed with the sport, and as much as it's good to be obsessed with your craft, if something goes wrong or the smallest thing doesn't go into your plan, the ability to take the back step and be like, okay, in the bigger scheme of things, the bigger picture, how can I grow or learn or develop out of this little thing?
I think that's where I got it wrong. You know, I was like, I'm going to sacrifice my life for 5 years, and afterwards I'll be good. It hasn't happened that way.
Yeah, and that's often, I think, every sport, because they become so obsessed and so like, I won't say obsessed, but it's just more like so passionate about what it is that they do, and they give so much into it. Not just the physical side, the emotional side, the commitment side, that when somebody don't get the immediate reward, it's frustrating. And I think even for myself, like, I've had many seasons where you feel like you had so much more to give, but in a team sport, sometimes
they don't choose you.
Exactly. So sometimes, okay, cool. Biggest thing, what is it that I can improve on now or to work on now, or just to get that next step better, but also then to remember that, hey, in this next 3 weeks, I might not be playing, so let me spend more time with my friends, let me get onto the beach, get onto doing the things that the other things I enjoy doing.
I think that's what South Africa is so good at.
Yeah.
Most of the South African team, like especially rugby players, as a person, they're so well-rounded in terms of life.
No, it's important. I like that really. And I think every player will have different or contrasting opinions, but for me, that's something I really place quite highly, is that definitely achieving some sort of balance when you have what you love outside of rugby and do those things. Make sure you indulge yourself in your other passions and hobbies.
Yeah. And in terms, I mean, this whole thing that I'm doing now is for helping people, and the Sharks have invested a lot of stuff into helping charities, all that kind of stuff. Do you want to touch a bit on it?
Yeah, so we actually, during COVID, I know that was a very hard time, especially for us in the continent, in the sense of being locked up at home. But I think, I don't know, we're fortunate enough to still be in a position to have food, have the ability to, even though outside, you can't see your friends and stuff, but a lot of people in different parts of KZN especially were literally their day-to-day, they live week to week on wages, manual labour, aspects in community like that were really shaken up. So I know we reached out to a few of the communities around the VENTER Reserve, a lot of the staff who work in the reserve, and also it's hospitality industry now, tourism come down.
Yeah.
So to be able to go down to those outlying communities and then go supply them with supplies that hopefully would have lost in a few months, I think really meant a lot to them. It's awesome to be part of and seeing what an impact the sharks can have. And I know every few months we do a lot of drops around KZN.
And personal visits.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's just important. It's really important to get involved with your community. I think we have an obligation as the sharks to help as well. As much as we ask for support from people who come to the stadiums, it's also our job to get out there and help those that we are in the position to help.
And that must be motivating.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's really awesome.
It's inspiring. It's something that's my motivation for doing everything, being on the court, feel that level of influence.
Yeah, no, it's massive. It's massive. I think influence is also like, you don't realize everyone in the squad, no matter who they are, they have such an influence in their circle. And I think never not appreciate your influence in your circle. Like, you don't have to reach out. I mean, a guy like some players like a reach of 1 million or 500,000, others will have a reach of their 500 friends in their circle. And I think appreciate that small group that you also have. I think that's just as important as a massive crowd.
Like, you can't wait for things to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the
Obviously, you're young still.
yeah.
So what's your ultimate dream, your ultimate goal?
True, I think that's an interesting one. I think at the moment, and it's something that I've just been working on. I grew up loving the Sharks, and then there's players that I watched the Sharks that were really good Sharks players and moved on to other clubs. And
Like, he's now going to France.
yeah, so he's off to France. But then there's players that become Sharks legends and like regarded as great Sharks. I think that's just my goal at the moment. Just to be the legacy that I need of the Sharks is that I was someone who was really good for the environment. I was really considered someone who was just a great Shark at the moment. And then other than that, just really enjoy my rugby. Like, I don't put too much pressure on the accolades or the other achievements that could come, but I really enjoy a season, so I really want to make it. And now I enjoy a season when you have influence in your community, helping the team perform on a Saturday. So
Obviously, when you're on the field a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of minutes.
Yeah, a lot of minutes, that's the thing, and I want to build up as many minutes on the field as I can, as much influence I can when I'm playing. So I think that's just my goal at the moment. It's just to really appreciate those minutes and make it count.
Wow. I've never met anyone so passionate about this sports in my life.
Yeah, literally.
And you recently married over a year now, no?
Yeah, so that's been also, myself and my wife, we started dating now when we moved up to Joburg. Met her, she was studying at South UJ. So then literally she's seen the role, she's seen the starting of the rugby career, what it looks like to play as a junior, play as a senior, that transition period between junior when you're not just an every weekend.
And you go from here back to
yes,
there.
at the bottom, start working way back up. She was a transition from Joburg to Durban. So yeah, she got to see it all.
Do you think it's helped having that person to share all of that with?
Yeah, I think it's really helped me. But like I said before, you've got to have, if it's not your partner, it must be your friends, it must be someone, it could be your family, people that are aware of what your passion is, what your commitments are, and they, so it must be like a healthy relationship. You shouldn't be feeling like you have to justify why you're pushing so hard.
Or justify why you can't make this and that.
Exactly. So like, I think that's the balancing act of knowing when, like I said, know that saying in your circle, when they refer to your friends in your circle, how important those are and what they influence you. I think also just to find, be aware of when something's also healthy on the sense of there's not too much pressure coming from those people. Also allowing you just to, when times are going to get tough, know that, understand that, but then they must also just be able to be there for you. So I think good circle, friend, family, partner, super important. I think you also experience it, knowing that you're going to play a game on the court, and it should off that
you need to find someone.
If you spend the next 2-3 hours of that evening, you're going to chat about moments on the court, like, and those are pretty important things as well.
It is tough because I mean tennis is a solo sport, so there are moments. Finance obviously, I mean, it's not very much luxury, so it's traveling alone, and then it's just like my parents have become my best friend. Like I finish it's like yeah. But I mean, sport is a big sacrifice for the time being, and also coming from rugby as a team, do you guys share a lot of those hard moments together, or they find like separate individuals who just?
No, I think like any our squad at the moment is like 45 players, so it's a big group, it's a big squad, and then 20 people down the weekend. So immediately there's
competition.
There's competition, which is healthy.
It can get late.
It can get, definitely guys can get frustrated, but then within that 20 there's also guys that, I mean, within the greater squad, there's guys that have similar interests, some similar groups. So there are a few, like, you'll obviously always think to dynamics when you have common interests with mates. But myself, something that's really cool at the Sharks, a lot of the group get along really well. So a lot of the guys have good relationships. The squad's been together for quite a while now, so guys are really, the relationships have gone that extra step. We really trust each other, we really willing to speak to each other, which is cool.
Because that's not easy. One of that's and also different personalities. We're pretty much doing it because of the passion, and it's like they're going to other people that are super obsessed with rugby, and that's it. There's nothing more. So how do you like try to lighten them up?
And I think that's something you got to appreciate them for what they are like. A lot of guys, you know, my teammates watch, they'll say like, when I'm on a rugby field, I'm a completely different guy than as soon as I'm off the rugby field. You get a lot more, you get guys that are super intense, guys that are super relaxed, guys that are maybe naturally just more aggressive and more passive. So I think what happens on a field is often, what I think a lot of people don't see is that people are completely different what they are off the field, on a field.
Like you see you fighting the opponents, like oh my word, we have to separate them.
Yeah, so a lot of it's just letting someone be in his space, be in his whatever zone or flow that he gets into. Just let him function the way he wants to function, and then you'll see like twice we know it's like if someone more scoring field, it's a complete change.
But it's a lot like on camera, off camera kind of thing. You guys post obviously a lot of promotional videos of you guys training and everything. But what's some of the work, not the tip of the iceberg underneath, that no one sees?
I think a lot of it is time. So I think the season up 5 to 28 games we possibly play in the year, plus a pre-season of probably 2-3 months. So we get 6 weeks off, or 4 to 6 weeks off over June, July. Then you're back at it for another 10 months. So I think that's what you don't see is that for every game or for every performance, the crowd sees of 80 minutes of the weekend, and that's also what we train for. But there's a hell of a lot of work. There's sacrifices that Monday to Friday you're a professional athlete. Between you're in at 7 in the morning, the day starts often getting home at 4 or 5 in the evening, and then it's to recover to get ready for the next day again. So Monday to Friday is tough. Weekends off are luxuries, so like Saturday it's awesome to get out there and play our craft, but I think the amount of time we commit to rugby is really, it's a time consuming sport, so something that demands your attention and your commitment pretty much every day of the year. So in your off season of 4 to 6 weeks,
you maintain your body.
You've got to go for the 3 rounds a week, you've got to get in a gym, but still break away a bit and travel or do something that gets you out of a rigid environment. It's just very scheduled, so your days, like I showed you, it's just planned out to a T, so every week we'll get a schedule. Every day is literally time slot, when, what are you doing? So.
You just be there and you die.
Exactly. I think this season's been an interesting one.
It has, with the World Cup, did you guys watch it all together like, as a squad and like,
yeah.
Oh, when he should have gone there, why is he going to the right? Stay left.
we played against the Ireland the night of the finals, and we had all the guys that were on tour were in a big team room, sat there watching game on the edge of our seats. So that was like, and then we all celebrated the win together, went crazy. So that was special.
The whole country went crazy. I don't think everyone was sober for 2 days.
I think that was one part of being on tour. You must be back in South Africa that evening. So,
yeah. Well, thank you so much for making the time in your hectic schedule to come and speak to us.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
So there you have it, James Venter. Now, throughout your journey of success, there are going to be many moments where people expect things from you and you're going to be feeling a lot of pressure. But concentrating on why you're doing something and what you need to do is going to make that pressure work for the best. Now, if you like that video, please subscribe as we continue through our journey of success. I look forward to our next guest.